What was the deal with the controversy about boxer pay? I remember this a few years ago, and you criticized Dana White and the UFC for not paying their boxers enough. What was that about?
I started being around boxers and MMA fighters and all this stuff and would always hear how underpaid they were. And I obviously know that these are the hardest sports in the world. You're getting bashed in the head like 3 days a week, right? Early in the morning sparring. And I met Amanda Serrano. She was getting paid like $4,000 a fight, and she's one of the best fighters to ever live. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, how is this possible? And so I started to just hear more about all these stories. And I started talking about how these fighters weren't getting paid enough and weren't getting paid a lot. Once I did that, everyone started supporting me and basically backing me and encouraging me to talk more about it. And UFC fighters were coming to me behind the scenes like, we don't get paid this, we're taken advantage of. And I started to learn more about it, and I was like, this is insane. And so I basically accidentally became a spokesperson for like women's fighters and for MMA fighters who were getting paid basically. Um, and I found out that the UFC only pays its fighters like 10% of its income, whereas like in the NBA and NFL, the athletes get paid 50% of the total income. So like this is a massive discrepancy. They don't have health insurance, all of these things. And so I just started simply speaking on it, and it became this massive thing between me and Dana White where we just constantly were beefing back and forth for years. But genuinely, I was just like, hey man, you're paying these fighters a minimum of $12,000 for a fight. They're risking their lives. Why not just increase it to 50,000? You're going to make the sport better because they're going to take it more seriously. They won't have to work other jobs, and it's just going to be better for the whole ecosystem. And that was my only like request.
What
And
was his reasoning?
he just doesn't have to. I mean, it's just capitalism at the end of the day, right? Like he has these fighters under contract regardless. He can pay them whatever he wants essentially, or they won't fight. So it's really essentially a monopoly of sorts, and he doesn't have to listen to anyone or pay them more, and he's not. So
why did you start your own promotions company?
yeah, I mean, I guess it was just like a natural progression, right? Like from Team 10, just bring it back into boxing. Nah, but
Can't get away from it.
I know, like, but truly, imagine the world of boxing as like Taxi, and it's just these old, outdated promoters. No one knows what they're doing. None of them are good at marketing. They're signing these fighters to like 10 fight deals where they're taking advantage of them. Dirty business, shelving fighters, all these egos and weird things wrapped up into the sport. And me and my business partner, Akisa, were like, we could do this so much better with just a few changes. And we put fighters first. Everyone wanted to be with us all of a sudden overnight. We're doing better marketing, more viral fights, being more creative, and instantly basically was a success. And everywhere we went, people were like, you guys are the best to work with. You guys are the best to work with. You guys are the best to work with. And so it's been 3.5 years now, and we threw the biggest fight in boxing history and continue to do more. The next fight with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor on Netflix. We've made Amanda Serrano the highest paid female athlete for a single event ever. And it's just been really succtual. And there's still so much more to do.
How are the finances broken down behind the scenes? Because, hosting an event like that could be millions of dollars.
Each fight is different, but essentially you're getting paid from the broadcasting. So whether that's like pay-per-view or Netflix or DAZN or whatever. And then there's like the ticket sales of like the in-person, and you work out an agreement where the fighters are going to get this much, this fighter's going to get this much, and us as the promotion is taking the risk essentially. But after a certain amount of money, like any of the profit will get split up depending between the two main event fighters and then the promotional company. And so you can lose money on events, but
Mhm.
knock on wood or whatever. But we've been doing pretty well, and um, events can profit millions and millions of dollars.
What's your thought on Creator Clash?
I thought it was super entertaining. I watched all of them.
Really?
Like,
I was in the first one.
yeah, I saw you
Yeah.
fight, but
Michael Reeves.
when bro, I think that stuff it had its era, right? I think like influencer boxing was cool for a bit, but then once the influencers didn't get any better, people didn't want to fight each other, and everything was kind of like sloppy fights, then it kind of like died out.
I think it was the novelty of it
Yeah,
kind of went away.
exactly. So it kind of just got old. But actually, one of the people who helped with Creator Clash like works for MVP now.
Hmm.
But he's like a wizard and just understands the marketing and the differentiation and disrupting and just being different in the sport.
What do you think is your highest high and lowest low so far in your boxing career?
I mean, highest high has got to be. That's a tough one, actually. I would say. I mean, the Mike Tyson moment, but also I think winning knockout of the year against Woodley was a great feeling. And then the lowest, it's easy to point to the Tommy Fury loss, but also I would say this year has just been very annoying with multiple massive fights falling through, and it's just so tiring, and the politics of boxing just get old, and dealing with people not actually wanting to fight and making fights happen in negotiation just is getting tiring.
How much work goes in behind the scenes before something gets announced?
So much, dude. I mean, we're on calls basically every day for months to make fights happen. And mostly Nikisa, so I feel bad for him, but my manager
Yeah.
and business partner in MVP. But he even has to call me and ask like, okay, what size ring? What size gloves? They want this. They want the fight here. We want the fight there. The judge needs to be this. The ref needs to be that. They want this much money. Are you willing to take, this much less to give them that much more? And I'm like, no. And then he has to go convince them. And then, dude, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
What was the final number that you won in the Tyson fight?
It was like low 30s, low 30 million.
Did you do anything with that money immediately afterwards when the wire hit your account?
I haven't really announced it yet, but I guess people kind of know or kind of don't know. But I bought a ranch, a pretty expensive ranch. It wasn't like right away after the Tyson fight or whatever, but I've been wanting to buy a ranch for the past 15 years. It's kind of been like my dream and why I work so hard. And I think it's just, I love everything to do with hunting, jet skiing, ATVs, fishing, horses, cows, all that stuff. I grew up going to a cabin a lot with my dad, and so I've always just wanted to go back to that, and so been working towards buying a ranch for a long time.
How much did it cost?
It cost 39 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty.
It costs about a fight.
Yeah, about a fight.
Holy shit.
couple of rounds there.
How
No,
big is it?
It's 5,700 acres.
Oh my god.
It's massive. It's a little bit bigger than I wanted, but when I got there, I was like, I have to buy this
How do you?
place.
Okay, so what are the logistics of buying a ranch like that? Do you find a broker, and like how do you even find that much land for sale? Is this?
Yeah, it's pretty rare for that big of a plot to be for sale, like all in one
Yeah.
area. And yeah, we had a realtor. Shout out to Walter Hatchett and John Kohler. But yeah, I was looking at a bunch of properties, and I was looking online for years. And every year that I would look, I wouldn't really find many properties to even go look at. But then I started finding some that popped up on the market because I had all these specifications. Like I needed to be able to wake surf and hunt, and I want to build a racetrack on it. So I want to be able to do all of these things and also be able to like, yeah.
Do you have your own lake on it then?
Yeah,
Oh my
it has
gosh.
multiple lakes.
How big are the lakes? And do you have to stock fish in them?
Yeah, so it was stocked like a couple of years ago, but you have to stock it pretty much like every like 5 years. You drain the lake and then put it back and then restock it. But the one lake is 20 acres, the other one's 30, and then there's like a 4-acre one. It's insane.
I feel like that's everyone's dream. Every guy's dream is to like
Yeah,
have
of
a
course.
ranch.
Yeah,
You could go there with your friends. You have dirt bikes. You have like, it's like the Danny Duncan life. It's like
Yeah,
the
it
Whistling
is.
Diesel kind of life, just going around and messing around.
exactly. And also being able to like raise your kids in
Yeah.
nature and teach them about animals and all of that stuff. And that's how I was raised. And I think, we're in the iPad kid generation. Like I'm not letting my kids have iPads. Like they're going to be real and social, and it's just amazing. Like even the city that it's in, everyone there is so mature and nice and smart. All the kids, like there's literally like kids running a whole coffee shop there by themselves, and they're like 15, 14 years old or 12 years old. So I just wanted to be like in that environment. And
Is that going to be self-sustaining where you could theoretically just live off the grid?
yeah, no, it will be eventually for sure. That's the goal, is to have our own steaks and plants and vegetables and anything we want to do there is a possibility.
Now, this clip was brought to you by our sponsor, Opus Clip. Most people think Opus Clip is just a clipping tool, but it's way more than that.
It's actually a full-on AI video editor. It can pull your long-form content, find the best moments, add captions, B-roll, and even schedule your clips to post all automatically. It's basically your entire post-production team, but way faster and smarter.
We use it ourselves to turn long episodes like this with Jake Paul into high-performing clips. And right now, they're celebrating their 2-year anniversary with a huge giveaway. They're handing out $5,000 in cash prizes, exclusive swag, and even a MacBook Pro to one lucky winner.
And everyone who joins gets free credits just for participating. All you gotta do is head to opus.pro/clip-the-future right now to learn more and enter the contest. Again, that is opus.pro/clip-the-future. We also have a link down below in the description. You can just click it there. Huge thanks to Opus Clip for sponsoring this clip.